countdown has begun. This will be Cyrain versus Mezro, Game 2 in the UMBC SEB Student Events Board StarCraft 2 tournament. This is not the most absurdly long tournament name I've casted in before, actually.
Yeah, we should just call it the UMBC tournament.
Yeah, we're calling it that from now on. It's a mouthful, because I had the JHU, IAC, KSA, SC2 tournament before.
Wow.
That was absurd.
That's one hell of a list. And here we go, already off the bat. You see the positioning here. Our Zerg player, Mezro, is going to be forced to expand towards the Terran player, which is definitely not something we want to do. As soon as we see Medivacs out, it's going to be very deadly.
Drops are going to be huge in this game. So it's going to be up to Cyrain to make some effective drops if he gets a little bit behind in terms of macro, which could happen, especially on such a large map. And both players here are just going to be starting out here. We'll see if Mezro decides to go for that fast expansion, which is definitely what I expect him to do on this map.
Absolutely. And the thing here for Cyrain, Terran players love to go mass mech on this map, and why the hell not? It's very, very efficient. Just the fact that you have Hellions, Thors, tanks, you're doing tons of splash damage to the Zerg army, and it's very difficult for a Zerg to engage.
Very powerful composition.
Yep.
But the timing is that if you go too mech heavy and don't get those floors out in time, those mutas can actually do a lot of damage. I've seen it happen to some Terran players before. We'll see if Mezro hits some sort of timing of that sort, if Cyrain decides to go for that big heavy mech play.
Cyrain's positioning here is it's nice for Mezro. As soon as he scouts it, he'll see that it's going to be a one barrack opening, and that just makes you much more comfortable when you're battling a Terran. If you see that double barracks play, it can be very deadly against a Zerg.
Yeah.
And I need to stop saying deadly. Basically, it's indicative of way too much pressure. So even grabbing a fast hatch first, it can be a scary play.
Yeah. And while we get this game started, while both players are revealing their initial builds, we want a big thank you to the UMBC Student Events Board for holding this tournament. And we also have a thank you to Infinity State Music for providing the streaming music as usual. So
yes,
thank you to all.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
They're supporting the growth of esports.
Thank you to Infinity State Music for providing the streaming music as usual. And also make sure you check out us online. Check out Reptile and his YouTube channel.
Yep, you can find me on YouTube and on Facebook. For those of you that are from Maryland, please look for Maryland Gamers on Facebook. And Aegis, where can we find you?
Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Aegis StarCraft 2. I cast a lot of games. All of these games will be posted on YouTube later. And hopefully you can check out some of the videos I've been putting up. I'll also be putting up some tutorial videos as well.
Excellent. You guys can also look forward to seeing me and Aegis on our own state of the game-esque kind of talk show. We also have some other players from Maryland, along with Carlo, who happens to be in the spectating audience right now, and Pam.
Yeah, so we see the factory coming up for Cyrain. He's going for that same opening. He's going for those reactor Hellions. We'll see if he's able to do some damage as his build rolls out here. He could go for some medevacs and drop it really close by, since this drop space is really close. Look at this huge black space out here where all those medevacs can roam around freely until mutas come out, of course.
Yeah, so far it looks like Cyrain's definitely going to be going for that Hellion opener. And he's expanding off of it, just like his previous game. So very effective. It's a great way, like I said, to apply some pressure to that Zerg.
Yeah, he's getting those lings out to be able to spot, but something tells me that he made a little bit too many lings for this type of spotting, especially with Hellions out. So he needs to be careful to use those lings as well as he possibly can.
Yeah, and the fact that he's off creep and doesn't have speed yet. But look at this, he's getting a nice surround on these Marines, and look at it, he's going to be able to scout the fact that there's a factory on the way and double Hellion coming behind it.
So he's going to be able to throw down those spine crawlers to be able to deal with this, but those Zerglings are actually running straight into those Hellions and into the main base. Looks like they will all get roasted off. That is not a good thing for a Zerg player, especially at this point in the game.
Yeah, it definitely sucks to lose those lings, but I think Mezro acknowledged the fact that he was in a position where he wouldn't be able to run from the Hellions. So he got a little bit of additional scouting. Let's actually,
he actually saw the command center.
Yep, he saw the command center, so he knows it's going to be macro-oriented.
And there's the bunker coming up at the front, the command center floating out, as well as a transfer of SCVs. Looks like he will be starting a couple of barracks in addition to that. We should probably be seeing Mezro go for yet another expansion off of this, as he does know his opponent is going to be macroing for a short period of time before any pushing occurs.
We also see that those Hellions have made themselves known on the map. He's moving in with 4 Hellions. We'll see if the Spine Crawlers are enough to scare him off.
And the Spine Crawlers are in position. A couple of Speedlings are going to get roasted away. Looks like the Spine Crawlers and the Queen will be enough to deter the Hellions from running in there, but it won't be enough to deter them from trying to break down this evolution chamber here.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. I actually really like the fact that Mezro hasn't felt pressured into getting the Roachborn.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we said it before. It just lets him dedicate more of his drones towards, more of his larva towards droning, and the fact that he won't be wasting any gas, so when he does decide to tech, he'll have a nice hefty amount saved up.
So we have the Siege Shank popping out for Cyrain right now. His Siege tech is complete. The Hellions returning home to get some repair. And let's see, is there a starport yet? Nope, just more barracks coming down. So I can definitely see this becoming a 2-base push to try to do some damage, possibly take out the 3rd, as it is coming up right now.
Trying to check our medevac number here. We don't have any medevacs out yet.
Yeah, still no starport, I think. Right?
Yeah, so going for a push here. Oh yeah, you're right. There's no starport.
So it will be a strong push, but it won't be a sustained push. Just because of those medevacs, they heal so well, and it allows the Terran to keep attacking throughout and also be able to retain some of the army, even if the push does not work.
We see that those Hellions are still testing the waters for Mezro, but he does have his 3rd hatchery up, and it looks like this is our timing right here for Cyrain. Or how do you say it again?
Cyrain?
Yeah, there it is, Cyrain.
And he's got a couple of Marines and an SCV as well.
Yeah, might as well. That way you can repair your mech. You don't want to lose those tanks early on.
Yeah.
But he has 4 Hellions, and this is where he kind of needs roaches, or at least Mutalisks, to ward off the tanks. And he just doesn't have those resources yet.
Yeah, Mezro, let's take a look at his units. It's only 26 Lings right now, and that's not that good against this composition, and the Lings are going to be coming forward. A bunker is also getting thrown down to block this area off. The Hellions getting the fire from the Spine Crawler here. Looks like another bunker is coming up, so Mezro is feeling a lot of pressure. He needs to throw up a lot of those
18 Banelings morphing in, along with 20 Zerglings.
That'd be overpowered if they were warping in Banelings. We have the Marines now going to be testing the waters, advancing forward. The Siege tanks in position. Also a turret coming up for Cyrain.
Wow, he's really preparing for anything, and the fact that he has these bunkers up, it's just going to make it very difficult.
Banelings, oh no, they're unsieged, and the Banelings advancing forward, just smashing into those bunkers. The 2 Siege Shanks in the corner. Looks like they will not get taken out, so this push will continue.
We have 30 Lings reinforcing, though, and he did so much damage right there to the Marine Hellion. He got a nice surround with the Zerglings. I think he's in a position where he's going to be able to come back from this.
So it's just up to Cyrain to see if he can reinforce this position, since it is a pretty good position. If he can hold on to this, this would spell a lot of trouble for Mezro. The Lings are actually running in bit by bit, but it looks like the Ling reinforcements are enough.
Those forces. We see now that the Spire's on the way. Hopefully he's basically recovered from that attack. We also see he has 49 Harvesters to Cyrain's 40.
Cyrain is still in a good position, especially because he does have those mules saved up at his natural expansion. He's getting another factory up, going to be going generally mech heavy sort of in this game, in addition to some Marines, as well as those medevacs. He is getting those plus upgrades for his infantry armor level 1 and weapons level 1. And we also see the Lings working on the back rocks here.
Yeah, and I like that he's favoring that mech play. I mean, like we mentioned before, doing splash damage to the Zerg army is probably the best way to win.
Siege Shanks are sieged up here at the natural expansion to prevent Mezro from doing any sort of crazy counterattack action. And the Lings are going to be returning home briefly after not knocking those rocks down.
Mezro has such a nice supply of gas right now. We see 6 mutas on the way, and he's in a position where he should probably continuously expand. With that many resources saved up, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, we saw that as sort of a problem in the last game. He didn't spend his resources as efficiently, so he couldn't hold off. He just barely couldn't hold off that push. We have 3 medevacs as well as a ton of Marines advancing across the field for Cyrain right now. We'll see if he's able to break through before those mutas pop out and do tons of damage to his economy.
The muta micro here will be so important. He needs to do as much damage to the tanks as he can without taking damage to his mutalisks. But with that Marine count, it's going to be very risky to engage.
Yeah, the Sea Shanks are going to be sieging up over here. Also, Marine's going to be dropping to the low ground. Looks like a couple of Zerglings are going to be advancing to this position. Sea Shanks are in position to deal with this. Looks like all of those Marines do survive. The Banelings still coming forward. Looks like Mezro pulling them at the last moment. All the Sea Shanks getting taken out by the mutas, but it looks like the Marines are just barely enough to hold the mutas back.
Oh no, see, he needs to engage with his Zerglings and Mutalisks at the exact same time. That way the Marines aren't totally focused on one unit. Once again, he's getting a decent surround with these Zerglings. The Siege Tank unsieged for the moment.
That Sea Shank could have done so much better if it was sieged up, but in this moment, Cyrain is still in a great position. There's only mutas out for Mezro. He's got 10 lings into the production queue, but I'm wondering if that's going to be enough, especially with any reinforcements coming from Cyrain. I actually don't see that characteristic Terran train.
It's a GG. He lost his Mutalisks there. He couldn't engage. And I mean, that was the downfall. We already mentioned how important that Mutalisk micro is against that Terran army.
Yeah, he just couldn't do it. Looks like Cyrain takes this match 2-0. We're going to be headed to the semifinal, actually.